Hi and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the card boat crafter, and I'm coming on with, well, it's a box card, but I think it's got a special box card. So let me show you what we're doing. So you'll start off with two pieces of card that measure 6 by 8. Now I've got a black piece for the back and a fancy piece for the front, and you'll see why as we go through, but use whatever you want to. Obviously it's your card. First thing that you're going to do is pop them in your scoreboard. So there's my long side at the top, and I'm scoring at 1 inch on both ends. And I'm just going to fold that like that. So this is how I'm making the sort of, are they called box card? I'm not sure. So you've got that sort of shape, and then you'll do exactly the same with your other piece. So this is going to be my front. So 1 inch both sides, long piece at the top. There's my short piece. So this is my 6 inch, this is my 8 inch, and then when we fold those back, we've got a 6 by 6 inch card front. So let's pop that out the way, we don't need that anymore. And what we'll do is eventually, not just yet, but these will go together like that to form our card. But before we do that, I'm going to work on the back. So this piece, I've got and this is a step that I do. It's entirely up to you whether you want to do it or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that and open up the bin, and I'm going to spray. So this is Ranger Perfect Pearls Mints Forever Green, but obviously use whatever you've got to hand. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray on the inside of this, so the piece where they're sticking up, so on there. So I'm going to hover it over the bin and do it over the bin, and I end up with that. Now I'm going to pop that to one side and let that dry. Let's pop the lid back on, and all the extra spray has gone into the bin. So next thing I'm going to do is I want to cut a square out of this front. Now I've already gone ahead and done that because I am making several of these on standby. So I'll just swap these over. That one goes there, that one will go on there, and now the 6 inch just about fits through my Cricut machine, not Cricut, Cuttlebug machine. So I'll pop that down. So I'm just buying. So this is a 4.5 die, square die. So, and obviously, if you haven't got dies, you can do do by hand if you want to, or you can use a slightly smaller or a slightly larger one. So this piece we're going to pop to one side because this is the piece that we will be using. Okay, so that will be the front of our card. I'm just going to pop it to one side out of the way while I do the next piece. So you'll need a piece of card. I'm using white, but whatever colour suits you. I've got a butterfly stamp, and I've got some flutter glue, which I've already popped onto my sponge, and I'm using, let me show you, I don't know what mix this actually, hold on, Morris Dance, Mega Flake Morris Dance, and you can see that I've had this for quite a while, several years, and I've still got plenty of it left. And you can see I even collect the tiniest scraps of bits of dust. So I've got glue on here, so I'm just going to pounce it onto my butterfly. Actually, that's dried a little bit, so let's put a little bit more on. And I always use it from the lid. Let's scrape that and pop it into our sponge. Spread that around as much as I can on the sponge, and then I'm just going to pounce it. Let's pop that there. I'll put the lid back on in a sec. I'm going to pounce that all over my butterfly. Now this glue will not dry until it comes into contact with something. So while it's still like this, it's very, very, very sticky. So just be aware, and I try and keep my hands away from it as much as possible. Okay, so I'll pop that there. Oops, try not to let it fall over. And then I'll take the stamp to the card. And this is, I'm not worried about where it goes on the card. I'm not trying to centralise it or anything, because we will be cutting this out. So as with any ink techniques, you're going to make sure that you press down on all the different areas of detail, and sometimes do it from the card side as well, just to make sure. And then just take your card from the stamp, because it, as I said, it's very, very sticky, so it won't come away particularly easy. So just be careful while you do it. And you can just about see the impression of the butterfly on there. Take it over to your flakes, and then just rub your flakes over the image like that. And then I always use my fingers just to pull off any bits of surplus embossing flakes that we have. Try and get those big bits off with my fingers. And while you're doing it, you're making sure if you feel any sticky, come back on with a little pinch of the gilding flakes. So, and once you've got to that sort of stage, bring in your scrunchie, which is always covered in gilding flakes, and then just scratch it across the front of your card, not too high, to it very lightly. There we go. And your image starts to come away. Now I'm just going to pop that back in, because it still needs a bit of a rub over, but I've already done one. So what you'll do then, once you're happy with where you're at, you're going to cut it out like that. Okay, right, before I forget, I'm going to pop the lid back on my glue and move that out of the way. So don't want it to start sticking to anything. Okay, so bring back in your black card, which hopefully looks like it's dry now. And you'll need some dimensionals. Pop them on the back of your butterfly. And this butterfly is, what I do is I always check, I sat and checked the size of the butterfly against the size of the 4-inch square for the front of the where did I put that? This room is such a mess. There it is. Of course it is. So yeah, so what I did was I checked the aperture against the size of my butterfly, so that I've got a nice size butterfly to pop in there. So it wasn't too big that it kind of overtook the space, but it wasn't so small that it was lost. So take the back off here. And actually, thinking about the peel-off challenge, I could very easily have used a peel-off butterfly on this rather than do all of that, couldn't I? But there we go. So let's pop that as central as possible. Now, oh, that's not central at all. I'm going to turn it round my side so I can see it And let's see, let's hover over where I think the centre is. Let that sit. That looks like the centre to me. So you've got a butterfly that looks like that. And then I'm going to bring this over and I'm going to pop plenty of glue on the back here, if I can get a glue that works. They always get really clogged up, I don't know why, and I've been very good recently and put the lid back on, so I'm not quite sure why that's not working. So make sure you get those edges, and then you're going to glue this flap to this flap here. And just line it up. Oops. Line it up like that. Let the glue grab. And I'm going to use my bone folder just to make sure that's got contact all the way along. So that's that one. I'm going to do the same on the other side, and perhaps this time I'll put the glue on there just for ease. So, oh, make sure I've got a good cover on that. There we go. Flip that over, and again, just make sure I've got plenty of contact on there. Line it up like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just lie it flat like that, because what I want to be able to do is, obviously I want to put it in an envelope, so I'm lying it flat to make sure that it will go in an envelope. And there you go, that is your card. So what I want to do now is I'm going to get a little greeting and I can pop it on there. But what I'll do is I'll wait until it's a birthday or an anniversary and then choose the right sort of greeting to pop on there. So I'm going to do a few of these, so I've got a good stock ready to go whenever I need it to. But I just think it's really pretty and just looks like one of those, you know, the butterflies that are in the case. I just think it looks like that. So there you go, that's a card that and a great one to have as a stock. Once the sides have dry, I shall put it flat like that, pop it in a drawer where I keep my other cards, and then when it's ready to go, I can bring that across, make it nice and straight again, pop on my sentiments, and there you go. Job's a good one. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you give it a go. Do tag me in if you try, and if you give it a go, let me know and I'll come over and have a look. I'd love to see how they turn out. Anyway, I'll speak to you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.